Superman was in the house yesterday evening. I'm sorry, Super Ben was in the house yesterday evening. Ben Stokes finally returning to form for the Rajasthan Royals, a 60 ball 107 that knocked the wind out of the Mumbai Indians bowler sails and gave the Rajasthan Royals a very, very important 8 wicket win in the context of things. Before which we had one more match, which was a pretty lopsided affair with the Chennai Super Kings outplaying RCB in all departments to pick up an 8 wicket win. However, the second match was of more importance, with the Rajasthan Royals win also meaning that the Chennai Super Kings will not be able to make the IPL 2020 playoffs under any circumstances, despite the fact that they might win their next remaining games. But a lot to talk about from yesterday's two encounters, and along with me is our cricket expert Indranil Basu. Welcome to Sportskeeda IPL Series Power Play. I'm your host Prasen Maukal. And Indranil, let's begin with the second match yesterday, because the first match didn't have much to talk about. It just seemed like we were all building up to the second game, but Rajasthan Royals completely outplayed the Mumbai Indians with a bat in hand. And how good is it for them that the move to open with Ben Stokes and even Sanju Samson jumping back into form with a half century, in the context of things, is that something that's going to fuel their campaign in the remainder of their games?
It's a little too late to talk about that word, to be in that top four. It's not going to be easy. It's the net run rate situation. A lot of other factors are involved. You have to win all the games very convincingly with good margin, and then you might have an outside chance. Yesterday's win has also ensured, I think, Chennai is out for the first time officially out of the competition. So Rajasthan Royals is still has an outside chance, very, very distant though. But the guys who are in that top four frame is clearly KKR and Kings 11 Punjab and RR. They had the team, this sort of team they had over this year. I mean, compared to what they had in the past, was brilliant. But somehow it was not enough. But yesterday, Ben Stokes was too good. The fact that he's the best in the country, in the world, for his country, he's done so many. He's won so many matches for England in all formats of the game, and now we know why he is the best, and the way what momentum, the way he paced the innings and played all over the wicket. Sort of, someone who's a good student of the game must have learned so much watching Ben Stokes, how to pace the innings, how to build the innings, how to end the innings, how to end, as a match winner, and the end of it. It was a complete clinical performance, and something which Rajasthan Royals were missing all throughout the season. Ben Stokes showed that. It's always going to be an advantage when either from 1, 2, 3, one of the top batsmen stay till the end, which can really give you a decision in favor of your team. And that's what we saw yesterday. Rajasthan were really, really superb. But somehow, this is one thing we have to accept, that certain things are beyond our control. Ben Stokes came 4-5 matches ago, and he looked to change things around. He tried his level best, and he's got that sort of talent also to do that. He's been doing it, as I said, for the country and for and showing it to the world cricket how big he is as an all-rounder. But it was not happening, and yesterday it happened, and Rajasthan looked a different side altogether, and beating a team like Mumbai Indians, the tabletop, it wasn't an easy game. And the way they had that opportunity to bat first, won the toss, and went in with a lot of confidence. But somehow I feel there was a lack of intent from the Mumbai bowlers, but they were really good. I mean, Ben Stokes and Sanju Samson, as you rightly pointed out, Prasen, they were brilliant. I mean, what else can you ask for? And both the matches were so unexpected. First game also, we never expected Chennai to win. The second game also, we didn't expect Rajasthan to win. The way they've performed, they've been very inconsistent. Good team, but very inconsistent. Yesterday, they showed that they could have done in the tournament, which they couldn't throughout. That was consistency, and they were brilliant in all departments of the game, barring those two catches which were drawn. I think Ravi Tewati had dropped those two catches. Otherwise, the overall side was right up there. Bowling, of course, got hammered. There were runs on that wicket. But overall, Rajasthan Royals were right up there, and that's why they emerged winners.
Yeah, I mean, the Mumbai Indians have tasted so much of success in Abu Dhabi. They even put 195 on the board, and it was a 196 run target. And the Rajasthan Royals didn't obviously get off to a great start. They lost Uthappa early, and they even lost Steve Smith with just like about 45 runs on the board, and in the fifth over. But where do you think the Mumbai Indians really lost control of the game? Because even in the post-match presentation, Ben Stokes mentioned how he was looking to play the ball on its merit and really wasn't bothered too much about the target. So, in a way, where did you feel that the Mumbai Indians lost the momentum? Because you mentioned that they were a great bowling unit, but for the Royals to pull off such a chase, where did Mumbai go wrong?
I think they bowled to his strength. That was the main crux of the matter. Mumbai obviously didn't put those pressure, gave a lot of boundary balls. They could have really held on to that pressure when they lost. Rajasthan lost those two early wickets. It's not an easy situation, It's a pressure situation for any team to be and when you're languished at the bottom of the table, not exactly at the bottom, you were like in the lower half of the table. It's not easy, but they kept their positive intent, which was important. And after losing two wickets, Sanju Samson coming and playing that role of that support cast, which is so important, not to get carried away. For the first time, we saw that Sanju actually bow down to the fact that there is a batsman who is superior to him, and let's give him that respect, and let's rotate the strike, and let's also hit those balls which are there in the slot. But yes, they didn't bowl well throughout. They could have done something. That's the moment they should have grabbed when they got Steve Smith. They could have really done something, put that pressure, applied that pressure, because 190 plus chasing is not easy at all. But somewhere Mumbai could have done better with the ball. But this is clearly an indication that any team can lift this year's IPL. A top team losing to someone a team which is right at the second half, just above the CSK, which is at the bottom of the table. I think it's not a good news for all the top teams. Also, I mean, no one can take their chances for granted. In fact, Mumbai has got, I think, three more games to play, and they need to win one more to out of three to qualify for the last four, which is what it's so difficult. This competition, this year's competition, like always, is very intense. It's very nail biting. It's going to be really, really tough for all the opposition. And with top teams losing, like RCB is again a top team. They lost yesterday. Mumbai lost, so it's creating opportunity for these kings and the SRH. And an outside chance which RR has, which is Rajasthan Royals. It's going to be interesting. Last week of IPL, where we are going to have the business end. It's going to be. I'm really, really looking forward to this, and hoping that something really nice will come out of this week's event. All are geared up. Business end, and you can't put a foot wrong. It's going to be very interesting, Prasen.
Yeah, and Ben Stokes was Superman for Rajasthan Royals. There was another Superman on the Mumbai Indians end. Hardik Pandya had scored 164 runs from the last 9 innings he had played. He hadn't done too much of substance in the IPL so far. But yesterday, 21 balls, 60, and he absolutely hammered the ball to all parts of the ground. Gave the Mumbai Indians all the momentum they needed and helped them put up that score on the board. Now, all the top six batsmen for the Mumbai Indians, barring Saurabh Tiwari, have scored a half century. So, in the context of things, how important was it for Hardik Pandya to find form? Because we all know that he's a quality player and he's capable of turning matches, but that performance yesterday was something special.
But Prasen, was not getting that opportunity which a batsman, a middle order batsman, a hard-hitting middle order batsman like Pandya would love to have. He was really coming down the order and not getting more than 4-5 overs, and he was doing well. You can't say he was inconsistent. He was not getting that opportunity. And yesterday he got the opportunity. He grabbed it with both his hands, and that's how a champion cricketer should be. He should be ready for those big occasions. But end of it didn't matter much because you couldn't take your team to over the rope on a winning note. That something must have hurt Hardik a lot. But this is how it is. One day you win, second day you lose. But Hardik, batting wise, his form was never in question. If it was in question, he probably wouldn't have been playing because and of course he's a big player. You can't drop him, but he's been all right. There were days they have a certain strategy. If wicket falls early, Kunal is going ahead of Hardik and Pollard. Yesterday, Pollard also looked a different kind of a player because that burden of captaining a side was there on his face. It's not easy. It's not easy to captain a side like Mumbai Indians. And Rohit has done it so clinically. He's been champion of a captain. That's why I really like him. Not much of batting they missed because all of them got runs. 190 plus, it's a good score. And Rohit, being there as a batsman, probably would have done a little good to the team. But overall, we didn't miss so much in the batting section as far as Rohit is concerned. But certainly as a captain on the field, Mumbai Indians miss Rohit Sharma because he's got that experience which is not there for the last two games. That's one area I think Mumbai would be missing and would be praying really hard. And I'm sure the priests are told to rush to the temple and pray that Rohit gets back to. And that's how a lot of the franchisees operate, right? They are very, very superstitious. When their teams are playing, they send people to different religious places, asking God, please favor us this time, every time. And God has to be fair to the opposition also. That's the the other side. So God can't be fair to you all the time. So that's one thing the teams also need to keep in mind. But I mean, opportunity-wise, Hardik was right. He got one and he was right up there. And there's no question asked. But Mumbai Indians, why they lost, the primary reason is Rohit Sharma was not captaining the side on the field. Prasan, what is the way? I mean, what is the otherwise the job of a captain, as we have discussed before also? A captain's job is primarily, it's basically when the team is on the field, how you make your bowling changes, talk to your bowlers, make those field adjustments, make those changes, make those smart moves. So that's the work of a captain, and it's in full swing when you're on the field. And Rohit Sharma was really missed there. Pollard doesn't have that. Pollard is, of course, a very powerful player, robust, but it was showing on his face when he came in and got out, and the way he walked out. There was something he was feeling a little bit of pressure. That you may not admit to it, but it looked like from his body language percent.
Yeah, and just quickly before we move on to the first game, I just want to bring to notice the way the Rajasthan Royals have been bowling. In the last three games, they've been served well by their spinners. Even yesterday, Rahul Tewatia was economical. Shreyas Gopal was also, to an extent, economical. But the pacers seem to be all over the place. And despite Jofra Archer putting in a good performance, is this just a reason? I mean, do they need to find a way to get Ben Stokes to bowl? Because they have paid a huge amount for him. And Ben Stokes as a batsman versus Ben Stokes as an all-rounder is something that they really need at this stage, considering that they still can make the playoffs. So do they need to find a way to get some overs off Ben Stokes or get someone else in to sort of give them more resources to bowl?
Now it's almost over. They have around 2 more matches to be played. So I don't think whatever they do will make much of a difference. Whatever you do, you have to win the game and pray hard, pray really hard that they make it to the last four, because they have a mathematical. Even they win those 2 games, they'll still have a mathematical chance of qualifying. Because Kings have done well. Kings have really done well in last few games that they've played. In 4 wins on the shot, they're looking like a. If I'm not, is it 4 or 5, Prasen?
What?
Kings have around 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, they have 4 wins in a row.
4 wins in a row. So on the trot, winning those 4 games, their confidence level is really high. And these are the last 4 games which Chris Gale, which Mr. Prasen has been advocating from day one, from the first game Kings 11 took the field. Where is Chris Gale? Where is Chris Gale? Chris Gale finally came with so much of luck that really changed things brilliantly for the Kings 11. They are one, and I'd be actually quite sad if Kings don't qualify. Really deserve, and because of one man, which is KL Rahul, they really deserve to be there. I had a lot of faith on the Rajasthan Royals as well, based on sheer sort of strength they had in their lineup, but they couldn't use it the way they should have. Steve Smith was a little off color. I thought he was not consistent as he is in international cricket. Sanju could have been a little more consistent with his bat. He started off brilliantly, as we saw. He showed a sort of glimpse of hope in the previous game and yesterday, and gave a perfect perfect formed a perfect foil with Ben Stokes. But overall, I think that word, which is consistency, which is so important at this level, that was missing. But end of it, they won the game. They must have celebrated it, and they gave a lot of entertainment. It's not about also winning those matches. Royals have been really an entertaining side. Even their mentor Shane Warne, when I was interviewing him other day, he said, Royals are real entertainers. When they play, they put the fans on the edge of their seats, which is what Royal sentiment is all about. And they have a culture which is to treat everyone equally. And Sanju was saying in that interview that how Shane Warne treats everyone like a superstar. So which is so important for these mentors. And this is a process. They have built a team. They couldn't do well. They will have to wait for next year probably if they don't qualify. But never lose your heart. Go out there, give your best. Your heart and soul, if you can give your heart and soul, anything is possible on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And one man who gave his heart and soul into his batting was in the first match was Rudraj Gaikwad. A very important half century in the scheme of things because he was in and out of the side. People weren't really backing him to come good, and despite his amazing returns in the domestic circuit, he wasn't back to come that well in the IPL. But yesterday, he showed that he has the potential. He opened the batting. He stuck around until the end, and eventually hit a 6 over fine leg that helped CSK win a match. I mean, it doesn't matter in the context of things for CSK, but how much of this is a dent on RCB's momentum? Because they are in the top three and they are primed for a place in the playoffs. But the performance yesterday wasn't too much to talk about because the batting and the bowling didn't really fire in unison. So, is this a dent in momentum for RCB?
Absolutely, Prasan. There's no two ways about it. They should have come to this match. They should have done their homework. It was good to get those two foreign spinners also going, Santner and Imran Tahir. They bowled well, and that was a time when Virat Kohli was on song along with A.V. de Villiers. They were hitting the ball well, and to be able to restrict them, I thought they will. Moment A.V. de Villiers comes to the crease, we get that feeling it'll go beyond 170 at par score, but it didn't happen yesterday. Chennai bowlers were superb in the middle over, especially between 10th and 16th over. They were brilliant, and that's why they could win that game so convincingly. 8 wickets is a huge win, and both the teams, we never expected them to win so convincingly. Both the teams, if like yesterday when we were discussing, we said, right, RCB is got the advantage, and so as Mumbai Indians. So are the Mumbai Indians. And look what happened. We have CSK winning the match by 8 wickets. RR, which is Rajasthan Royal, winning the match by 8 wickets in a similar fashion. So this is something every team should learn from this match, because you can't take, no matter how big you are, you have every chance of falling if you don't play to your potential. They did everything right. They won the toss, opted to bat. But where did it go? It went nowhere. And these Chennai Super King really needs to credit it. And this is something they were missing. They were missing that trick of getting the right combination. If they could have got the right combination, probably the result would have been different. But initially they couldn't have dropped Shane Watson, because he's a proven player. He's won championship for his team. So how can you drop him if you've invited him over all the way from Australia at this sort of testing times and don't make him play? That is not possible also. But yes, overall it looked much better side. It was a lot of intent, and there was sort of revenge kind of a match. So last time RCB was very convincing the way they approached the game and sidelined CSK. This time CSK and Dhoni versus Kohli. Dhoni's still there. You can't just rule him out. And the way he was playing the Sainis and the spinners and Chris Morris, Dhoni's still there. He's not. You can't just rule him out. But he's not there as right on top. You can't just trust him to win a game for you. He can when the foundation is laid, his things are looking normal. Dhoni can go and play a little cameo of 30-40, and he can win you a game. But he can't win a game all by himself. That power is completely lost. We've seen that, and that's why the team struggled so much. But talking about Rituraj, he was brilliant. What a talent! I was wondering why wasn't he tried before. What do they see when these guys are knocking the ball around in the nets? I'm really going to ask the. I mean, I want to know from the CSK management. They didn't come out. They said we have lots of options. So why don't you get your best option on the field? What were you doing? It was a fag end when you've lost. There's a lost cause. You're trying to get the youngsters. This you have to have the right mix of youngsters and experience, which is so important. And they talked about it. Yes, last year they played the final. They lost the final to Mumbai Indians. There was a talk that they will get blood youngsters. What happened to that theory? What happened to that thought process? They did nothing to improvise on that. You have to have youngsters. There's no two ways about it. You need that agility on the field. That's so important to take those catches. But talking about catches win matches. Faf was brilliant yesterday on the field, wasn't he? He was the way he's super athletic. What a performer. Well, he's not been getting those big scores, which is known to get also. But on the field, look at the positivity he reflects. He's a superb performer. Those catches so effortless. He takes those flat catches, those high catches, those catches which are going beyond, going for a six. The way he runs in the South African cricketers. I mean, Indians also doing so well. We saw other day the Puran, where he saved 1 6. I remember one of the games.
Yeah.
Mayank Agarwal, they're doing AB de Villiers. They when he was not when he doesn't keep wickets. These guys are brilliant, really. I mean, how do they do it so easily? And the ball is like sailing outside the boundary, just jump in. Yesterday, Ben Stokes also tried something like that, but it was really a little too high. But
Jofra Archer took that catch.
Jofra Archer catch, can you imagine? These catches, it makes you feel, and these guys make it so effortless. Those attempts are so effortless. It comes so naturally. The standards of fielding in world cricket has improved so much. In fact, so much so that if you are a good bowler and you can't field, you may not get a chance to play for your team. It's that important. It may not carry a lot of percentage. Like if you're a bowling all-rounder, you would definitely need 40 batting, 30 bowling, and 20, 30, 40, and 40, 40, and 20 if you're an all-rounder, genuine all-rounder. So, but the equation will change. If you're a bowling all-rounder, it will be 50 bowling, 30 batting, and 20 fielding. So fielding is very, very important. You could be the best batsman in the world, but if you can't field, no captain will take you. But it doesn't mean that only based on fielding you could be inducted in the team. Once it happened in world cricket, that was when John T. Rose used to play for South Africa. He'll score 25 runs and save 25 runs. So total is going to be 50 runs he scored in the match. But things have changed. You have to be good. It's taken for granted because the things are so intense, so much of stake. You can't drop catches. You can't. I mean, yesterday Rajasthan were lucky when Tivatia dropped those 2 catches, but thanks to the brilliance of Ben Stokes. But you can't drop catches. Chennai Super King were able to create that pressure because of those catches they took. Jofra Archer, what a moment, what a catch! These are these visions, these visuals just stay inside your mind forever. And when you talk about those brilliant catches, one hand. You have to be so much athletic to take those catches. Everyone was like stunned on the field. They expressionless. They were like didn't know what to say. What a catch, blinder, brilliant. I mean, this is really when a good catches are taken, it lifts the side so much. It probably that's the catch which lifted the Rajasthan Royals to bat so well and go back to their hotels with a smiling face, with a smile, big smile. That big smile should never go. That's the main thing, Prasen, on the field. You should always smile.
Absolutely. And what a weekend we were treated. The top 3 teams losing all their matches, opening up the points table quite a fair bit. But today it's a very important clash. Kings 11 Punjab on the back of 4 consecutive wins. They're looking like $1 million, when compared to what they were earlier. Knight Riders, on the other hand, are a little unstable, but they will take heart from the fact that they beat the Delhi Capitals in their previous game. Gale storm today in Sharjah, or will we see the Knight Riders pick up 2 points.
Very tough. But I can tell you one thing. Uh, they will come really hard. KL Rahul hasn't scored in the last game. And it remains whether Mayank is fit enough or not. We don't know. Do you have any update on Mayank Agarwal? Is he fit enough? If he plays, which will be good for the team. But overall, it's a good team. There, when you have those four big wins and have beaten the top sides. You've beaten Mumbai Indians, you've beaten Delhi Capitals. Out of those four wins I'm talking about, and you've beaten Bangalore, RCB, Delhi, and Mumbai Indians. Three top teams. You've beaten them, so your confidence should be. And this is the fourth team they have, which is in the top four. You beat them, you can fancy your chances to go up right there. So
if they win today, they will go to the top because of net run rate possibly.
Yeah, but they won't let this opportunity go away. They have suffered a lot. They played those close games, and now they have. I was telling someone other day they have, the nerves of steel. After only team to play two super overs against Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians.
Three super overs.
Three super
two
overs.
Against Mumbai.
Two against Mumbai. So they are a dangerous side. I'm telling you, they know how to stay calm in pressure situations, and this is primarily possible because of one guy, KL Rahul. He is so cool. I have to tell everyone that he's the next star. He's the next Virat Kohli of Indian cricket. He's always shown that. We saw him playing in 2016 when he played that. He scored that 100 against the West Indies in the US. That was a brilliant knock. That was a set. That was a sort of telling the world that he's arrived. And if you look back in last three IPLs, he's been very consistent with his bat. This year has been special. He's all set to become the highest scorer in the tournament. The way he's batted with, and it's a sort of single, one man army doing the show, and that's been the hallmark of KL Rahul. I really have a lot of time to talk about KL Rahul. What a talent. And he used to be in a Misbah mold, Misbah-ul Haq of Pakistan. He used to get out, take one bad shot, he's back in the pavilion, that kind of a thing. He never get that sort of assurance that he can hang in there, occupy the crease for the day and make that count. But now he's looking as a completely different player. He will also be traveling to Australia in the test team. And he's going to get a permanent place because of his aggression, his style of playing. He doesn't spare loose deliveries at all, which is what is needed in Test cricket. You won't get that many to loose deliveries, but the moment you get that, you have to encash on them. And KL Rahul is the best guy after Virat Kohli in the entire setup right now in Indian cricket to do that. And the kind of cool temperament he has got. He's calm, quiet, doesn't speak much, only speaks when spoken. Great qualities of making of a good legendary cricketer. I'm telling you, this guy is going to go a long way, and he's going to be he's the next future Indian captain for sure. This was the first time he's captaining, and he's done it so well. When all the chips are down, he's really shown that he can really fly high. Like the plane takes off. When the plane takes off, it takes off against the wind. KL Rahul has done exactly that. The ship was sinking. And the way he renewed the hope of the entire team with his batting, with his positivity, with his calm mind. He's a mix of Rohit Sharma and MS Dhoni in so many ways. I rate him really high. And today also, since you're beating those top three teams, number 4 team is KKR. I don't think it won't be much of a challenge for Kings 11. I'm backing them to go all the way and be in that top 4. That will really intensify the competition so well. So we have to wait and watch how they do.
Absolutely, they've turned from a team which couldn't come out of the points table to world beaters, and they have 4 wins in a row, having beaten top 3 teams. And today, as you rightly mentioned, they are the 4th team, Knight Riders, that Kings will probably have to beat. But yeah, I mean, it's a very important match in the context of the 4th place race that is heating up with every single match going into the last 10 matches of the playoff, league stages before the playoffs.
One more thing, your favorite batsman, Christopher Henry Gale, he's not looking out there and going and hitting the ball hammer and tongs. He's not doing that. He's taking his time before unleashing his his strokes, against the opposition. So he's showing tremendous amount of maturity. He's never shown it before, I guess. He's always there, someone who goes out there and hits the ball no matter what. But this time, Chris Gayle has been really right on top of things. He's not got 150. He's got in last 4 games he's played, but he's always, whenever he's come to the crease, he's giving that confidence. Something special is going to happen tonight. That feeling is not only with us. It's also in the opposition camp, amongst the bowlers. They might be feeling that, oh boy, he's come. The big man has come. He can hit you a good ball out of the park if he can just hang in there. So I, as Kings fan, I would love to see them hanging in there. Chris Gayle, if he hangs in there for 10-15 deliveries, God help KKR.
Yeah, well, Kings and Punjab fans will definitely need to hang in there with the pattern that the Punjab have got themselves into, taking every match into the final over. And let's not forget the last match, the last time these two teams met, Punjab needed those 7 runs to win, and Glenn Maxwell's loft over covers just landed millimeters before the ropes and handed the Kolkata Knight Riders a 2-run win. But all that in the past, it's two relatively different units, in terms of the personnel that are there in both the sides. Couple of injuries have hampered the Knight Riders. Their team is probably unstable. Punjab, on the other hand, they're obviously looking very good, 4 wins in a row. But a lot more on this, and definitely analysis on the playing 11s that we have and fantasy tips we will be bringing to you at 7 p.m. today as part of our Sportskeeda's IPL series Power Play. So do join us at 7 p.m. for the preview show. But as for the review show of the matches on Sunday, where the Chennai Super Kings first picked up an 8-wicket win against RCB, and then the Rajasthan Royals rode on performances from Ben Stokes and Sanju Samson to pick up an 8-wicket win over the Mumbai Indians. That's it from us, our cricket expert Indranil Basu and myself, Prasen Maudgal. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in, and do join us at 7 p.m. for the preview of today's Kingsland versus Kolkata Knight Riders match. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Let's enjoy a great game today.
Yep.
See you, everyone.
Thank you so much. See you.
Bye.